What's good, YouTube? DGOs are back with another video. As you can see, I'm already on the ground because I cannot wait to start the video and start working on the car at the same time. I'm so excited. I finally got my exhaust side done. So if you guys can see, I have a 3-inch single coming all the way from the Y pipe, and they actually welded an O2 bung back there, which is really cool because now I can just hook up a air fuel ratio sensor there. That's really cool. Then it comes all the way back here to the V-band flange, so I can actually mount the turbo, and he made a really nice sturdy bracket so that the turbo will not go anywhere. He did a really good job. The welds and everything look amazing and beautiful. And then here's the turbo right here. I got the wastegate. I think when I mount the wastegate, once I put the turbo on, he said that there's plenty of room to route the cold side. I think I might be able to get away with putting the cold side over the sway bar. I don't know. I hope it doesn't like do anything to it, but yeah, this is definitely becoming a real thing, and I'm gonna see if I can finish a hot and cold side and intercooler today. That's my goal. I'm gonna also try to finish the oil lines and install the oil cooler. I think I can do that today. We'll see. You know how cars are. But yeah, this looks absolutely badass. By the way, if you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe. I'm doing this rear mount turbo build. This is so sick. I'm so excited. I literally just jitters, bro. This is so surreal. I'm actually starting to do this. It's crazy. So yeah, right now I'm just getting the turbo ready to be mounted up, the V-band flange. I had no gasket on here when I gave it to them. I think I have a gasket lying around, but if not, I might just get away with gasket maker or something for now. But I think I do have a gasket somewhere. But I just use the exhaust gasket maker there. So that should be good. V-band flanges and everything. I have the wastegate mounted up. Everything's nice and tight. I put the 5 PSI spring in there as well. Well, it's 5.6 PSI, but that should be a good starting point. And then once I get a boost controller hooked up, we'll be able to turn it up to 6 or 7 or 8 if we want to. Obviously, I'm going to start small and work my way up. I'm not trying to go big 10, 12 PSI and then blow the VQ up like immediately. So I definitely need help putting this up because this is very heavy to hold with one hand. It's almost impossible. And then to also put the V-band on, it's like extremely difficult. So I'm going to need a hand with that, which is no biggie. Okay, so I have the turbo mounted to the exhaust. Everything bolted up. This is really tricky to do by yourself, so I would recommend having a partner. But so you have the wastegate bolted up. I need to plug these holes. They didn't come with the wastegate plugs, and I scratched the hell out of the wastegate, but it's okay. V-band flanges are on and tight. It looks so cool. I'm definitely going to cut this little piece right here so you can actually see it from behind the car. I'm not going to cut the whole bumper though. But yeah, fitment is real nice and it looks really cool. I got the resonator, that way it's not super loud. But yeah, now we just need to route oil lines here and then do the cold side, and then the car will officially be boosted technically. Okay, so doing some brainstorming right now. I have the oil cooler mounted up, as you see. I'm trying to mount the intercooler. I think I want to do it offset, like right here. Everyone puts it right in the middle. I think doing an offset intercooler would be kind of cool, so just complement the oil cooler on each side. So we'll see, but I'm trying to think how I'm gonna route all my oil lines, because I have the oil cooler, the oil filter, the oil pan, all that good stuff to run and tap into to run feed and return. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna do. I'm for sure gonna run an oil feed from the oil filter housing or the sandwich plate adapter I have. That's for sure gonna be an oil feed. As far as the return, because I have pre-tapped fittings there and the oil pan spacer, thankfully, that's gonna definitely come in handy. But then I have this oil cooler as well, so I need to figure out a feed and return to the oil cooler. Okay, so I got a lot done today. I got the oil cooler mounted up here, and I actually have the oil lines pretty much done. Obviously I need to finish tying that up there, but the oil feed is done, and I almost would have the oil drain done, but I got the wrong size drain flange from the turbo, so I have to wait on that. That should be here tomorrow, so no big deal. I got it, most of the lines secure. I do need to obviously touch up a few things, but thinking it's looking pretty good. Running the feed from the oil filter housing, and the feed is going all the way to the turbo. You can see the scavenge pump. I mounted that I did scratch up some of the fittings. Installing the fittings was a pain. I do still need to tighten things up, obviously. This is just for like reference. Gonna go over everything and make sure everything's tight before I put oil in it and everything. So this is just to see where it's looking, how it's looking, where everything's gonna go, how it's gonna look with the intercooler piping and everything. So really excited about that. I got the oil pan spacer in. That's cool. I actually won't really need to do anything. I'm just gonna actually drain into the oil cooler. So it's gonna drain the really hot oil into the oil cooler so it can get cooled before it goes back into the engine. So that'll be nice. And then I also have this check valve here. This will make sure there's no chance of oil draining back from the oil cooler. So I know it's a little high, so it would be a little difficult, but that oil check valve will basically make it impossible for oil to drain back. So as you can see right here, I have the gauge pod installed. It's not absolutely perfect, but that's how it looks with the boost gauge. Wow, it's dope. I drilled holes into the A-pillar so I can feed wires and stuff like that through. That'll be dope. Can't wait to install that. With the gauges, it did come with this little cover right here. I think it looks better without it. Honestly, it looks more flush. So it's supposed to cover it from the sun, but honestly, not a big deal. You can see the oil lines. I need to actually cut the ends of the zip ties, but the oil lines are pretty much good. Maybe I can support it right there a little bit, but that's not going to scrape the ground or anything. If anything scrapes the ground, it's going to be this little subframe brace. But some of the intercooler piping I started, just get an idea. I originally had the piping go up and over the exhaust hanger right here, but I'm running low on 45-degree angles and stuff, so I just actually clocked the turbo so I can run a 90, and that actually looks really dope with the Mishimoto right there. And then I can run a whole bunch of straights. When it gets towards the transmission, it's going to get a little tricky. I'm definitely going to have to be a little bendy and creative over there. I was kind of struggling with that today, and I even had help. I kind of need some more parts and couplers and stuff, so I'll have to wait on that, but almost coming along together. Everything's looking real nice. And once I get that drain flanged, that'll pretty much be ready to go. I'll have an oil feed and drain all set up. I am gonna have to get some plumber's tape, which I have, and support this intercooler. It is very close to the axle right here, and I do not want the axle to hit. It will probably crack it like immediately if that happens, so let's not do that. I also need to make sure it clears the drive shaft as well. But I am just trying to figure out how I'm going to route everything. I do want to put it over the sway bar, but if I can't and clearance is an issue, I will just put it under. I just don't want to scrape my intercooler piping everywhere because I am lowered a little bit, and every once in a while I will scrape something if like my car just cannot clear the driveway. It does suck, and I don't want to scrape my intercooler piping because that's just not fun. So you can see I got the oil pump mounted right there. I'm gonna tidy up the wires and everything. I actually don't think I wired it correctly because I don't think it's turning on, so I'll have to redo that anyway. But mounted it up there. That was a perfect spot for it pretty much. I think it's a little further from the turbo than I wanted it to be, but I really didn't have any good place to mount it here that wouldn't mess with my ground clearance or not be the fuel tank. Oh, the fuel tank is right here, so I'm not obviously trying to drill and mount anything to that. But yeah, it's starting to come along, and I cannot wait to get this ready to get its first start. Yeah, so I've been putting in a lot of work. I'm a little tired. It's almost midnight today. I've been working since like 9 in the morning on this crap. So I'm hoping a day or two more of work and I could actually be able to start the car. I need to make sure all the oil lines are done first and put oil in the car before I even attempt to start it, obviously. But start the car, make sure the oil is going to the turbo and back, make sure my oil pump is working. I could start it without the intercooler being fully on, but I think I don't want to blue ball myself. I'd rather just wait till that's done at least. And then once the intercooler piping is on, then we're officially boosted, guys. So we're actually not too far away. We're not too far away. Just got to do all that cold side stuff. Mount the intercooler. Mounting an intercooler is going to be no problem. And then I'm going to have to set up my gauges if I actually want to drive it, if I do that. Obviously I can't really get on it until I get tuned, but when everything's together and everything is no leaks or anything like that, I can technically drive the car around. I just have to keep it under like 3,500 RPMs for the most part. So dude, I cannot wait. man, I'm really excited. Thank you guys again so much for watching and following the build. I am sorry it took so long to get a video up, but I really had to get everything right first before I even started. And now I get to go ham on this thing. So thank you guys for sticking with me. Hopefully next video we'll get a first start. I think so. I think we'll be able to get a first start next video. So thank you guys again for watching. See you guys next time.